Sure about the greatest negative and the least positive residue, what we're looking for here in this linear congruence. And I'm just making up an example here. 11 congruent to 3. Okay, and let's see, what am I, you'll see where I'm going with this hopefully. I'm going to say this is congruent to -5. All right, and let's see, what are we looking for? I'm trying to do mod 8 here, folks. So this would be congruent to -13, right? Congruent to -13. You can see the difference between all these numbers is 8, and so we can put mod 8 out here. Mod 8. Now, so as far as this problem we're working today, this would be, I guess, what you would call the greatest negative right here. Residue. Residue is a term reserved, I think, for number theory or other. Just it's the greatest negative integer and the least positive integer, if you don't like the terminology. But so this would be the least positive, right, in this string of congruences here, and this would be the greatest negative number, right? Okay. Now, so another thing I'd like to bring up is that another way to rewrite this congruence is that 6x would be equal to 7. This is a little more like terra firma here. 6x is equal to 7 plus some multiple of 2155. So we'll put 2155 times m, where m is just some integer. Okay, and again, this is just a restatement using good old equalities in more familiar notation. Okay, this statement right here is exactly equivalent to this. This would really, you could think of this as 6x minus 7 is a multiple of 2155, and you bring the 7 to the other side, and you get this statement. Okay, now let's get down to solving this. Now, so we're going to go for the greatest negative, and all I did was just note that 7 plus 2148 is 2155. So 7 minus a minus gives you 2155, all right? Now, what we'll do next here, and again, if there's a result from number theory that says if 6 and 2155 here are relatively prime, you can just cancel. Okay, but I'd like to show you the reason why. As before, you could write this as 6x is equal to minus 2148 plus some multiple of 2155 plus 2155. We'll just use m again. It doesn't make any difference. Like that. Now notice that if you divide this by 6 and this by 6, you get this statement down here. Okay. So in other words, this would be I mean, it's just equivalent. You can divide this by 6 and this by 6. Notice that what makes it really work here, if 6x is equal to this, then 6 must divide m, since 6 couldn't divide 2155, right? 2155 and 6 are relatively prime. So this is a legitimate step down here. This is a legitimate step because of the truthfulness of this statement. Again, 6 has to divide both this number, which it does, and it doesn't divide 2155, so it would have to divide m. Okay? So in any event, though, when you divide 6 into this, you get this. Okay? So this would be one of the answers. All right, and of course, this number plus this number is equal to 2155. So this is the least negative residue, and then this would be the greatest negative residue right here, the minus 358, that's the greatest negative residue, and this would be the least positive right here. Okay, folks, hope you enjoy that. If you've taken any number theory, at the very beginning you would know, you wouldn't even have to write this down. You would just note that 6 and the modulus 2155 are relatively prime, so that means you can divide the congruence by 6. All right, that's the end. Hope you enjoyed.